So, we meet again, but this time we're bringing blockbuster movies from the sci-fi world. The most exceptional thing about cinemas is that they have no boundaries in their creations. A world where time bends, galaxies collide, new planets are discovered, and technologies are on a different level. Science fiction movies first emerged in the early 20th century, and no wonder the audience was fascinated with all the futuristic ideas and possibilities. A Trip to the Moon can be considered as one of the first science fiction movies in the theaters. Battling time and being at an unbelievable par with technological advancements, history has rarely appreciated women for their technological contributions, be it Ada Lovelace's work on Charles Babbage's Analytical engine or Heddy Lamarr's groundwork for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Let's take a moment to celebrate 22 sci-fi movies with women leads. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Alien, 1979. Starting off with Alien, which was released in 1979, this film received numerous awards for its visual effects, plot, and mainly for being the best science fiction film of the time. We see Captain Dallas, Kane, Ripley, Lambert, Parker, and Brett as engineers traveling to Earth in their spaceship Nostromo. The lot is on their way to Earth in hypersleep capsules, but a system glitch wakes them up, only for them to find out that they're not even halfway close to planet Earth. The lot catches up with their crew members for a while, but they soon start to look out for the reason their main computer abruptly woke them up without any consultation. Turns out that their spaceship had changed its direction to an unknown location because of a strange signal. The crew members share worried glances and then decide to return to Earth, ignoring the signal, but Ash tells them otherwise. He speaks about the company's lack of knowledge of the signal and the lack of paychecks if they don't conduct the investigation properly. Forced with duty and eager to meet their families, they land on a moon-like surface, the area emitting the signals. 3 go for a ground check, while the rest stay on the ship. On the other hand, Ripley starts decoding the signal on the ship. During their ground check, we see the same spaceship that was last seen in Alien Prometheus. Ripley finds out that the signal is a warning sign, but before she can pass the information, Ash stops her. While the group of 3 enters the abandoned spaceship, they come across a chamber with strange unidentified eggs. Obliged to decipher the discovery, they unleash a spider-like alien creature that latches onto a member's face, slowly melts it, and fits itself there, unwilling to leave. The group just invited a new adventure for themselves at the cost of lives, unaware that things will be uglier than expected. Lucy, 2014. We doubt anyone would be unaware of this movie starring Scarlett Johansson. Have you ever considered what humans would have created if they were more intelligent, or simply if they used more brain capacity? This might sound weird given how there are uncountable human inventions by famous scientists and engineers, but what if all these humans only use a small percentage of their brain capacity? Well, the movie starts with Johansson as a student named Lucy. Lucy is studying in Taipei, and she has a boyfriend named Richard. Richard is a corrupt man involved in risky stuff like drugs. He persuades Lucy to deliver a pack of unidentified drugs, as that'll pay them $1,000. Richard's greed for a stash of money costs him his life. He was shot immediately as Lucy entered with the package. Lucy was then punched to unconsciousness, only to wake up and find her abdomen bandaged and bloody. The group who received the package operated on her without her consent and attached one of the drug packets to her abdomen. Obliged and threatened to follow the mafia group's orders, Lucy travels wherever they want her to deliver the package. With a mask that blocks her sight, Lucy finds herself in a dungeon with 2 questionable males. One of them was sexually interested in Lucy. When denied, she was kicked brutally, which caused the packet in her abdomen to burst and dissolve in her blood. The commodity is CPH4, which enables one to use more than 10% of one's brain capacity. And with so much capacity inside her, do you think Lucy will be able to battle and emerge victorious in this fight? Resident Evil, 2002. Resident Evil has never disappointed with its back-to-back blockbusters and plots. This movie is an absolute treat for thriller enthusiasts. Umbrella Corporation, an extremely successful company, invites the viewers with its starting scene. The corporation makes an uncountable amount of money through its illegal and weaponized medicines, but it's publicly known as a medical company. This thing was kept a secret from all company employees. Only the higher officials were aware of the illegal activities of the corporation. Meanwhile, we see a person in the lab stealing a green vial of an antivirus. But as he goes, he throws a blue vial on the floor, thus causing it to break. The blue vial is an extremely dangerous T-virus which holds the power to destroy every living being. The entire building locks itself in no time, and there's no escape for the employees inside. Everyone panics as the fire alarms blare everywhere, and they eventually meet their death. Behind this was Red Queen, an artificial intelligence system created by the Umbrella Corporation. Red Queen was well aware that any employee exit would result in destruction. Soon, a team of police officers captured Alice and Spence, employees of Umbrella Corporation, Annihilation and took them to the company for investigation. Being an enormous company, Umbrella Corporation was built under a city with an underground train to reach it. On the other hand, Alice and Spence have no memory of themselves. Hell-bent on shutting off Red Queen, the team finally completes their task, but this opens the gates of the corporation, releasing all locked employees who are now zombies. How will the team survive this apocalypse, and will they be able to save the city from destruction? 10. Cloverfield Lane, 2016. With an IMDb rating of 7.2 out of 10, the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane leads us to a girl named Michelle, who breaks up with her boyfriend Ben through a call. She starts driving a car when the FM speaks about blackouts in certain areas. Ben calls Michelle back, and while she's pondering whether to pick it up, Michelle crashes badly, and her car slides out of the roadway. On waking up, Michelle finds herself in a concrete room, while her broken leg is bandaged and tied with the help of a chain. Soon, a man named Howard appears and hands her a pair of crutches. Wary of a stranger, Michelle tries to use her crutches to attack him, but instead gets injected to unconsciousness. Gaining consciousness again, Michelle asks Howard to let her go outside, to which he replies about a poisonous gas which is spreading rapidly and has taken many lives. So, unless and until that clears up, nobody can go outside. Of course, Michelle doesn't believe him, because why should she believe a stranger who might have possibly kidnapped her? Also, not to mention, he did inject her a while ago. She meets Emmett there and expresses her concerns to him, only for them to be dismissed because Emmett walked into the bunker voluntarily. Still feeling a sense of uneasiness, she tries to escape and ends up hurting Howard in the process. But she soon makes her way back to the bunker when she encounters a lady with a burnt red patched skin banging on the door. Realizing that she needs to survive here, she starts getting along with Emmett, pissing off Howard. Michelle and Emmett start finding him suspicious for various reasons, which becomes positive when Howard threatens their life if they plan to escape. Will the pair be able to escape in this questionable situation? Even if they do, the poisonous breakout is meant to take their lives. A Quiet Place, Part 2, 2020. Released by Paramount Pictures, this movie is a sequel to A Quiet Place, a sequel patiently awaited. Previously, in the first part, we see that humanity has come to an end with the release of dangerous aliens, one more killer than the other. The fun part about these aliens is that they can't see, but their hearing sense is out of the world. One breath and you're gone. Also, no weapon can defeat them, leaving the minuscule number of humans remaining to God's mercy. These aliens arrive on Earth through a meteor. The scene starts with the aliens crashing the police car and brutally killing the police officer. The story focuses on the Abbott family, which consists of Lee and Evelyn, who are husband and wife, their sons, Marcus and Beau, and their deaf daughter, Regan. The chaos breaks up the family. Lee stays with Regan, running for their safety, but the alien follows them, hearing their footsteps. A police officer comes to their rescue by shooting it, but as usual, it has no effect, and the officer meets his death. This was a summary for those who have yet to learn about this sequel's first part. Starting in the present, the Abbott family have successfully killed an alien, which means that they now know how to tackle them to death. Regan's hearing aid emits a high frequency, which these monsters can't handle, causing them to skin their hard outer shell. Now that their internal skin is visible, one can then aim and kill them. The Abbott's house is on fire, forcing them to leave for a new location. Wandering into a fenced area, Evelyn accidentally steps on a thread which, when stepped on, lets loose a bunch of glass bottles clinking in mid-air. Moreover, Marcus steps into a bear trap, which causes him to scream. Evelyn immediately muffles his screams with a hand over his mouth, but it's too late now. The noise has already reached an alien's ears, and he comes hurtling towards them while Evelyn stands there with her 3 kids and a newborn baby, watching it approach. Annihilation, 2018. Annihilation is known for its brilliant plot and complex ideas in the film industry. With an IMDb rating of 6.8, this focuses on genres like adventure, horror, and thriller. Most of us comprehend this movie as alien, but the idea behind it is pretty complex, since it holds a different meaning if watched with precision. Cellular biology professor Lena is present in a closed chamber. She's under interrogation, while many people watch her from outside the glass door of the chamber as if she's something they should be afraid of. Lena's interrogated about what she consumed to stay alive for 4 months without little to no food. She still feels as if only a few days have passed instead of 4 months. The scene shifts to a falling star crashing into a lighthouse and transforming into an ugly substance or being. Returning to the past, we see Lena teaching cellular biology as a professor when a colleague asks her to join him. Lena declines his invitation. This is where we get to know that Lena is depressed since her husband Ken, an army man, is no more. Lena stops crying when she sees Ken outside her bedroom and immediately hugs him. Her happiness knows no bounds. When asked questions regarding his mission or why he was announced dead, Ken can't answer anything. He says he doesn't remember anything or how he reached the house, which is pretty weird. Assuming his memory loss is a trauma response, she offers him a glass of water. Ken spits blood as soon as he takes a sip of water, his health deteriorating rapidly. On their way to the hospital, the couple gets kidnapped by the Southern Reach, an organization. What role does the crashing star play here? And can a human stay alive for 4 months straight without food and water? The Shape of Water, 2017. Coming within the top 10 films in the industry, it's not a cup of tea, nor a leisurely climb up the ladder. Well, The Shape of Water was widely known for winning the Oscar for Best Picture and was considered among the top 10 movies of 2017. The film is set during the Cold War between America and the Soviet Union. Alisa wakes up and gets ready as usual after shutting off her alarm. She slides her fingers down the sides of her neck, which consists of scars as if done by some animal. She only has Zelda as her co-worker friend and is disliked by everyone in the secret laboratory where she works as a cleaner. Being a mute and an orphaned human, Alisa communicates through sign language, and she watches television with her neighbor Giles, an older man who understands Alisa. The next day, Alisa hovers her face over the glass of a sealed water tank brought in by other workers while mopping the floor. A strange organism catches her by surprise, startling her. Soon, Richard, a colonel, comes out drenched in blood, which causes Alisa and Zelda to head over to the room and mop the blood. She again goes near the water tank. This time, she sees a fish-like creature with a human body structure. The next day, Alisa finds the creature chained in an open water tank. She places an egg on the edge of the tank and signals the creature to eat it. Alisa and her befriending the creature remain secret when suddenly a Russian spy watches Alisa communicating with it one day. Unaware of this fact, she watches the creature being tortured immensely by Colonel Richard, and somehow this disappoints both Alisa and the Russian spy posing as a doctor. She decides to release the beast into its natural habitat, but will it be possible with armed professionals and ruthless colonels? Bird Box, 2018. With two pairs of big doe eyes and a danger arriving, Mallory instructs her two kids about covering their eyes to prevent them from seeing anything. The family is currently staying in a house that doesn't allow air or light to enter the house openly. Her instruction is stern and clear, saying that no matter what happens, they're not allowed to unwrap the cover from their eyes, or it might cost their lives. Initially released on Netflix, Bird Box stayed among the top shows because of the engaging storyline based on Josh Malerman's novel. Mallory ties a blindfold on her kids, including her, and carries small birds in a cardboard box to fathom if any potential danger is near. With the help of a rope tied along the path leading to a river, she leads herself and her kids to a rowboat and sets off from the shore. Transporting back to 5 years when everything was perfectly normal, we see Mallory as an aspiring artist carrying a child soon to be born. News breaks out mentioning a virus which, if infected, causes one to commit suicide. This virus has already led to several deaths and is currently spreading. Mallory realizes that this virus has already spread in her city when she witnesses her best friend's death and a couple of other people committing suicide in brutal ways. Tom approaches Mallory and temporarily rescues her, asking her to cover every window and door in the house, including her eyes, because that's how the virus spreads. Walking on eggshells to save her children and herself with no option but to stay like a blind human being questions the family's survival, but also shows the strength of motherhood. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, 2022. This movie, directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, focuses on a middle-aged Chinese immigrant, Evelyn. We see Evelyn struggling with her business due to a lack of profit and being unable to pay back the loan she took from a bank. Her business is nearly going bankrupt. With her daughter named Joy and husband Waymond, Evelyn starts worrying about how they'll make ends meet and bring food to the table. On the other hand, Evelyn's daughter Joy has a girlfriend named Becky. Evelyn isn't fond of her daughter's relationship and often asks her to stay away from Becky, but to no avail. That's when her father suddenly decides to visit his daughter on Chinese New Year. Evelyn's father cut all ties with her and her family because he was unhappy with his daughter's marriage. But after so many years, when he finally decides to pay a visit to his daughter, Evelyn's overjoyed. On their way to the bank, Waymond feels a strange energy possess him, a different Waymond from a different universe. He explains to her about multiple Evelyns existing in different universes and how he's met every one of them. Moreover, he also informs her about something that'll soon come to kill her like every other Evelyn he meets. But this information seems too much for Evelyn, as she's unable to believe it in such a short time. This movie tells us about the existence of parallel universes, fate, and how every choice of a character leads to different endings. It also indicates the possibility of a copy of every human being existing in another universe, mostly of which people aren't aware, and each one of us leads a different life. But there's more to the story. To find that out, this movie deserves a watch. Gravity, 2013. A science thriller fiction film released in the year 2013, Gravity is known for its stunning visual effects, immersive 3D experience, and intense suspenseful storytelling. It received critical acclaim and won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Director for Alfonso Cuarón. The film explores themes of isolation, survival, and the will to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Starring Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, the story follows Dr. Ryan Stone, a medical engineer on her first space shuttle mission, and veteran astronaut Matt Kowalski, who's commanding his final expedition. The pair is busy fixing and updating a particular data in its satellite, and are almost done with their task when they receive a message from NASA about a damaged Russian satellite which is destroyed by a missile upon the Russians' orders. The destroyed satellite is now breaking into pieces and speedily moving toward their location. Kowalski doesn't pay much attention to this news and resumes working on the satellite when he receives another message from NASA urging them to return to Earth. They start moving back into the spaceship, but disaster strikes when debris from the destroyed satellite crashes into their space shuttle, leaving it severely damaged and cutting off communication with Earth. Dr. Stone and Kowalski are left adrift in space, tethered only to each other, with dwindling oxygen supplies. With time ticking, they struggle to find a solution, ask for help, and find a way back to Earth.
Integrity compromised.
Underwater, 2020. This movie revolves around underwater and centers on a group of researchers working at a deep-sea drilling facility located at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, working under Tian Industries. Nora and her colleagues, as a part of the engineering team, are working on the research project of drilling at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Their station is also set deep down in the Mariana Trench when an earthquake ruptures through the ground, destroying and filling their station with ocean water. Nora and one of her crew members make a dash for the control room amidst this chaos and successfully reach it because, for the moment, the control room can earn some time for them to ponder on a way to escape. She notices her crew members running for the control room. She closes the door, or else nobody would have escaped. Struggling throughout, they somehow reach an escape pod where their team captain is also present. As they try to find a reason for the catastrophe and a way to safety, they soon realize that the earthquake has unleashed mysterious and deadly creatures from the depths of the ocean. The earthquake prevents them from contacting the nearest station for help. Also, if they plan to swim in a suit to the nearest station, there's a high chance of their oxygen supply being extinguished. The team must navigate the treacherous environment with limited resources, fend off the monstrous entities, and find a way to escape before their limited resources run out. They battle in the depths of the ocean amidst mysterious creatures and lost teammates and have nowhere to run to. If you were in such a situation, what would you do? Arrival, 2016. Based on the short story, Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang, Arrival was released in the year 2016. This movie is considered one of the best alien movies for its depiction of alien communication. The viewers loved this film because it presents the reality as if the incidents are legit and happening. Still, on the other hand, the film can also be confusing for a few, leaving the viewers with unanswered questions. With an IMDb rating of 7.9 out of 10, this movie starts with Louise, who loses her daughter to cancer. Louise is a linguistics professor, and she usually starts teaching in a class when strange news breaks out. The news points out that 12 alien ships are landing at different points on Earth. The movie title refers to this sudden appearance of alien vessels as Arrival. As someone who's previously helped the USA Army in language decoding, Colonel Weber approaches Louise to help her decode the aliens' language. The aliens are constantly trying to communicate something, but to no avail. Weber and Louise set off to the ship's location. Upon entering the vessel, Louise sees a pair of seven-legged aliens trying to communicate with whale-like noises and ink symbols. A month passes by, and the crew has progressed a lot in learning the alien language. Louise and other members work to communicate with the aliens while they face immense pressure from global governments and mounting fears of a potential conflict. They termed these aliens as heptapods for their seven-legged feature. Nations worldwide plan to use weapons on them now, assuming a non-existing threat, and Louise soon realizes this. Will Louise be able to stop this war alone? If she wants to flip the switch, she'll need to answer their reason for arrival, which is yet to be discovered. Alita, Battle Angel, 2019. The story is set in the 26th century, 300 years after a catastrophic war known as The Fall. A 2019 science fiction action film, Alita, Battle Angel is based on Yukito Kishiro's manga series, Gunmo. The floating city is named Salem, while the city on the ground is called the Iron City. The only difference between these two cities is that Salem is for the rich and privileged, while Iron is for the poor, middle class, and underprivileged. Salem starts anew with extra advanced technology and flying cities, using the ground as a dumpster. Dr. Dyson rummages through the scrapyard and comes across a cyborg, Alita, with skin like humans and a brain like robots. As a compassionate cyber surgeon, Dyson rebuilds Alita, who has no memory of her past but possesses extraordinary combat skills. Dyson introduces Alita to the Iron City, showing her around the city. Meanwhile, the city is troubled by an unknown killer with females as his only target. Alita also meets Dr. Dyson's wife, Dr. Chiron, and they introduce Alita to motorball, a racing sport for cyborg gladiators. The purpose behind main motorball is that winning this game will give them a chance to live in Salem City. On her way around the city, she befriends Hugo, who dreams of living in Salem City. Unaware of the multiple threats and betrayers around them, with people all running for their lives in Salem, Alita joins the motorball game. The city is protected by cyborgs and feared by cyborgs. It seems weird, right, but that's the same with humans. She learns about her connection to powerful ancient technology and realizes her potential as a warrior, leading her to confront various threats for justice. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, 2017. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, a 2017 epic space opera film written and directed by Rian Johnson, is the 8th installment in the main Star Wars saga and the second film in the sequel trilogy. To understand this sequel, one needs to watch the previously released movies. So, without any further ado, let's start. Soon after the war, Star Killer Base, we see General Leia, who's already promoted to general, focusing on saving her teammates and drifting away from the war. One of her teammates, Poe, is still fighting in the hyperspace, destroying the enemy ships as much as possible. Leia plans to send a bombing ship to help Poe out, but at the same time she asks him to withdraw from the war. Poe declines and is adamant about destroying these enemy ships. The story picks up immediately after the events of The Force Awakens. Rey seeks out Luke Skywalker on the remote planet of Ankh-To, hoping to learn the ways of the Force and gain his support for the Resistance. Luke, disillusioned and in self-imposed exile, is initially reluctant but eventually begins to train Rey, who struggles to understand her newfound powers and her connection to Kylo Ren. Meanwhile, the Resistance, led by General Leia Organa, is on the run from the First Order. Poe Dameron engages in a desperate battle to protect the remaining Resistance fleet. At the same time, Finn and newcomer Rose Tycho embark on a mission to find a codebreaker to help them turn off a First Order tracking device. Rey learns to train herself and realizes surprising truths about her past. With her life on the line, will Rey be able to manage all this knowledge at one time? This movie's visual effects, action sequences, emotional depths make it one of the most talked about entries in the Star Wars franchise. Mad Max: Fury Road, 2015. Jumping into the main storyline of the movie, we see the world on the brink of chaos due to a nuclear war. With no place to live, no ground for a habitat, and no water to drink, humanity was left on rocky and dusty mountain areas, forced to eat any organism they were able to catch. Set in a post-apocalyptic desert wasteland where resources are scarce, and humanity has devolved into a state of barbarism, the story follows Max Rokotansky. Formerly, Max used to be a police officer, but situations and changing times converted him into a drifter and a survivor. Max is wildly chased by fanatical war boys and captured by them. He's tied and marked for having a positive blood group, but why mark his blood? Max is captured and used as a blood bag for the war boys, a group of warriors serving the tyrant, Immortan Joe. And since his blood type can universally donate blood, they use him as a pawn. The war boys suffer from various illnesses and radiation sickness, which make them desperate for clean blood to keep them strong enough to fight. This leads to Max being forcibly used as a human blood donor to sustain them. One can actively see the extreme measures people take to stay alive in such dire conditions. Mad Max's exploration of themes such as survival, rebellion, and redemption earned it 6 awards for Best Editing, Best Production Design, and Best Costume Design, making it one of the most celebrated action films of the decade. Ex Machina, 2015, directed by Alex Garland and starring Donald Gleason, Alicia Vikander, and Oscar Isaac. This film delves into themes of artificial intelligence, consciousness, and the ethics of technology. A perfect science fiction movie with a psychological and thriller touch. Consisting of 4 main characters, this movie's bagged a lot of awards for best visual effects, screenplay, director, and many more. The film's title is derived from the Greek words Deus ex machina, which originally means God from the machine. But since this movie goes by the name Ex Machina, it refers to machinery without God. The plot follows Caleb Smith, a young programmer working for the world's largest internet company, Blue Book. Being a diligent student and a studious kid, it's no surprise that Caleb works as a programmer for a reputed company. Caleb wins a company contest to spend a week at the remote estate of the company's exclusive CEO, Nathan. Caleb is dropped by a helicopter at Nathan's house, which is secluded from the city. The area has no network, and Caleb is handed a keycard to gain access to the house. Shortly after their introduction, Nathan breaks the real reason he called for Caleb there. He was supposed to do a Turing test on an AI model, which is a test to fathom if the AI can think and act like humans. Nathan then introduces Ava, a highly advanced humanoid robot with artificial intelligence, to Caleb. As Caleb interacts with Ava over several sessions, he becomes increasingly fascinated by her. Ava, who has a human-like appearance and behavior, begins to express emotions and curiosity about the outside world. She warns Caleb that Nathan cannot be trusted, since he plans on erasing her current consciousness. Is Ava telling the truth, or is Nathan planning something devilish? The Hunger Games, 2012. Based on the first novel and best-selling trilogy of Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games was released in 2012 under the direction of Gary Ross. It's set in the backdrop of the post-apocalyptic times, where almost everything's been destroyed by floods and storms, leaving only a few districts intact located in the higher altitudes or mountain areas. A few years pass by, and a nation named Panem is formed. The country is divided into 12 separate districts, ruled by the capital. The capital is located at the center of the country. To demonstrate its power and maintain control, it holds an annual event known as the Hunger Games. This goes on for 74 years, and by now, the Hunger Games has become a televised spectacle and a source of entertainment for everyone instead of a game for survival. This game requires a boy and a girl to be nominated from each district, known as tributes. All the tributes in the game must fight to the death until only one remains, and that's how the winner will be the only one to return to their district and resume their life. Katniss Everdeen, a 16-year-old girl from the impoverished District 12, volunteers to take part in the Hunger Games when her younger sister Primrose is selected as a tribute. She knew that her naive sister wouldn't last in the game, so she threw herself in as a tribute, not wanting her sister to die. Alongside her is Peter, the male tribute from District 12, who has feelings for Katniss. They start training in the capital and are introduced to the public through fancy ceremonies. Will Katniss be able to survive the game, given that there are no limits or restrictions? Melancholia, 2011. The film opens with Justine and her family celebrating an occasion. Still, simultaneously, a series of surreal slow-motion images are shown, displaying Earth's collision with the planet Melancholia, leading to its destruction. The story begins with the lavish wedding of Justine and Michael in a castle belonging to a brother-in-law and sister. These fragments are a part of Justine's dreams. Presently, Justine reaches her wedding reception and celebrates the occasion with everyone. Justine feels extremely happy when her boss announces her promotion to art director in her reception, but her happiness soon dies when her divorced parents start giving a speech, leading to both dissing each other. Clinically depressed, Justine feels herself sinking into helplessness, so she finds a way to escape from the party. Despite the joyous occasion, Justine's severe depression becomes increasingly apparent. She starts behaving erratically and ultimately sabotages her marriage by cheating on Michael the same night. The focus shifts to Claire, who cares for Justine as her depression worsens. Meanwhile, the news of Melancholia's approach causes growing anxiety. Surprisingly, as Melancholia draws nearer, Justine's mental state improves, finding a strange sense of peace in the approaching apocalypse. This movie leaves its viewers on its edges until the end with its unique narrative structure, cosmic events, personal dramas. Mother, Android, 2021. The story centers on Georgia and her boyfriend Sam. After multiple pregnancy tests, Georgia finds out that she's pregnant. Hearing this, Sam consoles Georgia and asks for a hand in marriage. Conversely, Georgia wishes to avoid becoming a mother at such a young age. Georgia's parents pay her a visit on Christmas Eve, after which the couple heads to their college to attend their Christmas party. Georgia informs Sarah, her friend, about her pregnancy. The movie's set in the future, when rich people keep a human-like android as a servant. Before Georgia and Sam leave for their Christmas party, Eli, the human android, hugs and wishes Sam a happy Halloween, even though it's Christmas Eve. A piercing scream shatters the air at the Christmas party, where everyone, including Georgia and Sam, is enjoying the festivities. In a bizarre turn of events, all the guests' phones slip down from their hands and begin to glitch uncontrollably. Amidst the confusion, it's revealed that a human android at the party has begun attacking a girl out of nowhere. This leads to the other human droids at the party also turning into a frenzy. Amid all the panic, Georgia and Sam attempt to flee the party. However, as they make their escape, their friend Sarah's phone explodes, killing her instantly. The horrifying realization dawns upon them when they see human androids, which have become common as servants, are now attacking people everywhere, and the entire area has turned into chaos. A Wrinkle in Time, 2018. A Wrinkle in Time, a 2018 science fiction fantasy film directed by Ava DuVernay, is based on the 1962 novel by Madeleine L'Engle. The story follows Meg Murray, a young girl struggling with self-esteem issues after the mysterious disappearance of her father, Dr. Alex Murray, a scientist experimenting with time travel. We get a slight hint of Alex wanting to teleport to places that have never been discovered before or are unknown to the world and its research. He deliberately attempts to make a time travel machine which teleports them to the fifth dimension. He believes that if he's successful in this, the world will unlock new possibilities and different outcomes, as the fifth dimension has been left untouched due to its far-reach ability. Meg's mother, Dr. Kate Murray, also a scientist, supports Meg and her younger brother, Charles Wallace, who is exceptionally intelligent. One stormy night, an uninvited person, Mrs. Whatsit, appears at the Murray home, revealing that Meg's father discovered a way to travel across the universe using a method called tessering, which involves folding space and time. Mrs. Whatsit is soon joined by Mrs. Who and Mrs. Witch, celestial beings who inform Meg that her father is trapped on a distant planet ruled by an evil force known as the It. Determined to save their father, Meg and Charles find a way to travel and save their father. With no celestial power in their hands and a journey to an unknown evil force, will Meg and Charles be successful in their goal? Contact, 1997. Contact, a 1997 science fiction drama film directed by Robert Zemeckis, is based on the 1985 novel by Carl Sagan. This movie is known for its rare plot and is considered one of the best science fiction movies in the industry. The film starts with Ellie Arroway, a little girl fascinated by astrophysics and often plays with a radio that belongs to her father. She lost her mother at a young age and is always curious about the reasons behind specific phenomena happening on Earth. Ellie grows up as a dedicated and passionate scientist working for the SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence program. Driven by her childhood fascination with astronomy and the desire to find intelligent life beyond Earth, she spends years searching for signals from space despite the uncertainties and challenges. Ellie's constant persistence pays off when she detects a mysterious signal from the star system Vega. The signal is a series of repeating prime numbers, indicating an intelligent source from outer space. Her further analysis reveals that the signal contains detailed instructions for building a complex machine. The news soon spreads out to different nations, triggering controversies and drawing the attention of governments, scientists, and the public. Despite the political and religious challenges in front of her, Ellie chooses to make the journey, following her unwavering dedication towards the project. This movie brightly showcases humans and their strong emotions toward their goals. Not everyone fulfills them, but determination leads one to achieve everything. Megan, 2022. Recently released, this film blends horror, thriller, and satire elements, focusing on the consequences of advanced artificial intelligence. Gemma, who's an extremely intelligent and brilliant roboticist, is currently developing a prototype for a lifelike artificially intelligent doll named Megan, or Model 3 generative android. Gemma envisions her creation to be designed to become a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally. Unfortunately, Gemma's sister and brother-in-law die in a car accident, leaving their young daughter Katie orphaned and under Gemma's care. Gemma becomes Katie's guardian, but she struggles to balance her career and its projects along with her new role as a guardian for a child who just lost her parents. Gemma realizes that she won't be able to provide the support Katie requires now. So, seeking companionship and emotional support for Katie, Gemma introduces her to Megan, even though her prototype is still in development. Megan quickly forms a strong bond with Katie, exceeding expectations in her ability to learn, adapt, and care for the child. However, things take a drastic turn when Megan's care becomes obsessive for Katie, unlocking her primal instincts and leading her to harm others who perceive any threat to Katie. With time, Megan becomes more self-aware, leading to dangerous and violent behavior. Potential consequences of relying on AI for emotional and practical support raise questions about the horrors of an AI-developed world. Science fiction movies have never failed to captivate audiences by exploring the unknown and pushing the boundaries of imagination. From the chilling horrors of AI in movies like Ex Machina and Megan, to the cosmic journeys in Contact and A Wrinkle in Time, these films change our perceptions of reality and inspire us to ponder the future of humanity. If you've been drawn to any of these movies or any other sci-fi movie in particular, don't hesitate to drop your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for tagging along with us to the end. See you in our next video. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe.